We've all seen the promise of extreme quantization. 4-bit floating point, or FP4, sounds like the ideal solution for cutting memory and compute costs in large language models. But when you apply it to reinforcement learning post-training, the training dynamics often collapse. Today, we're breaking down a new paper that tackles exactly this problem. The researchers didn't just patch the symptoms. They performed a systematic autopsy on FP4 RL post-training, identified the precise failure mode, and built a lightweight correction mechanism that brings fully quantized training within striking distance of full precision. Reinforcement learning for LLM post-training, particularly methods like group relative policy optimization, is notoriously expensive. Each optimization step involves two distinct phases: a rollout phase, where the model samples long reasoning trajectories, and a training phase, where it updates its weights based on the rewards from those trajectories. The rollout is almost always the computational bottleneck. So the natural engineering move is to quantize it. Previous work pushed rollouts to 8-bit or even 4-bit, but they always kept the training policy in higher precision to stabilize gradients. This paper goes further. They attempt end-to-end FP4 RL post-training, meaning both the rollout and the training policy, including their forward and backward passes, run entirely in 4-bit precision. But here's where it gets interesting. When you drop to FP4 across the board, accuracy tanks. The obvious question is, where is the precision actually leaking? Is it the training pass? Or the rollout? The authors ran a systematic ablation, and the results flip conventional wisdom on its head. They found that the dominant source of degradation isn't training-side quantization error. It's rollout activation quantization. Specifically, outliers in the activation tensors stretch the dynamic range so far that the vast majority of non-outlier values underflow to 0 under FP4. This causes what they call a zero collapse, where critical information is lost before the model even takes a gradient step. Here's the counterintuitive part. When they restored the training policy to BF16 while keeping the rollout in FP4, accuracy didn't recover. It actually performed worse than running the entire pipeline in FP4. This exposes the principal failure mode. It's not noise in the training pass. It's a rollout to training mismatch. The quantized rollout generates fundamentally different activation distributions than the training policy expects, and that mismatch destabilizes the optimization landscape. So how do you fix outlier-driven underflow without abandoning 4-bit efficiency? The authors looked at post-training quantization literature, but most methods like smooth quant or rotation-based transforms assume a static model with offline calibration. In RL, the policy distribution shifts continuously every step, making static calibration obsolete almost immediately. Their solution is Rollout-ResQ, or rollout residual quantization. The core idea is elegant. Instead of trying to quantize the outlier-laden activations directly, they compute the quantization error explicitly. For a given linear layer, the residual is simply the difference between the high-precision activation and its quantized version. They then quantize this residual to FP4 and add it back into the matrix multiplication. Mathematically, instead of just the quantized activation times the quantized weights, the rollout projection becomes the standard FP4 matmul plus a residual correction term. This residual captures the outlier-driven error that vanilla FP4 rollouts miss. But computing this residual naively would require an extra dense GEMM, killing the efficiency gains. To solve this, Rollout-ResQ applies a hardware-friendly sparsity pattern to the quantized residual. They experiment with channel-wise pruning, block sparsity, and semi-structured 2 out of 4 sparsity. The 2-4 pattern, which keeps 2 out of every 4 elements, is particularly well supported by modern sparse kernels. By sparsifying the residual, they keep the correction term lightweight, often under half the flops of a dense multiplication, while preserving most of the accuracy recovered by the dense residual approach. The paper also compares 2 FP4 formats: MXFP4, the open standard with blockwise microscaling, and High F4, which uses a 3-level hierarchical scaling scheme. Hierarchical scaling preserves more resolution by maintaining mantissa bits at both the top-level scalar and the individual elements, effectively expanding the dynamic range without sacrificing precision. The results are clear. Across all benchmarks, High F4 consistently outperforms MXFP4. The hierarchical structure handles the shifting activation distributions of RL much better than MXFP4's single shared scale per block. When paired with Rollout-ResQ, High F4 closes the accuracy gap to BF16 from 4.9% down to just 1.1% on QN2, 5-3B, and from 13.6% to 5.3% on MXFP4. On the math benchmarks, Rollout-ResQ doesn't just match full precision, it converges faster and more stably. Baselines like smooth quant struggle with slow convergence because their calibration scales become stale as the policy evolves. Rotation-based methods and outlier clamping show early promise but degrade later. Rollout-ResQ maintains stable reward curves throughout training. Let's talk overhead. For a linear layer with input dimension D and output dimension N, a dense FP4 GEMM has a theoretical flop cost. Rollout-ResQ adds a sparse residual multiplication. Under 2-4 sparsity, only half the residual elements are non-zero. Assuming FP4 hardware delivers a 4 times throughput advantage over BF16, the effective compute cost of the sparse residual is minimal. The total overhead is roughly a quarter of a standard FP4 matmul, yielding up to a 2.67 times speedup over BF16 baselines while preserving near-lossless accuracy. Of course, the paper notes a key limitation. Native FP4 hardware support is still emerging, so these experiments rely on simulated quantization. The simulation overhead masks the true speedup, and runtime constraints limited the scale to 3 billion and 7 billion parameter models. Future work will need to validate this on actual hardware and explore varying sparsity levels to fine-tune the accuracy-efficiency trade-off. But the takeaway is profound. End-to-end FP4 RL post-training is no longer a theoretical impossibility. By correctly diagnosing rollout activation underflow as the primary bottleneck and introducing a sparse, hardware-aware residual correction, the authors have shown that we can bridge the gap to full precision without sacrificing the efficiency gains that make quantization worthwhile. And when it comes to format choice, hierarchical scaling like high F4 clearly sets the ceiling for what's recoverable. The code for the simulated quantization is publicly available, so you can experiment with Rollout-ResQ and the different sparsity patterns yourself. If you're working on efficient LLM training or tracking the latest developments in quantization-aware reinforcement learning, this paper is essential reading. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next breakdown.